Welcome Tarnished. I wanted to make a video about my thoughts about patch 1.10 from a more casual invader standpoint. This is not going to be dealing with 1v1s and duels because I think the patch with duels and 1v1s is pretty good for the most part. Save for like a few weapons, of course. We all know what they are. But for the most part, dueling's pretty good and 1v1s are pretty good. However, before I do that, I want to say thank you guys for all the support. Seriously, like the subscribers I've gotten recently, you know, the constant, consistent views I've gotten from people that are subscribed. You know, you guys are awesome, and while I'm only have a small following, I really hope to seriously build this in community like I've said before. And I appreciate all you guys that watch my videos, and as you can see, I've been making a lot more of them because I've been enjoying the game. That's kind of what happens. And before I wasn't enjoying the game, but I have to say, I do like 1.10. Now, I want to go into more of what I dislike about the patch, less so than what I like about the patch. I really don't like how chaotic it is now. It is not in a fun chaos way like Pontiff. It is in a, am I going to die in 10 seconds at this invasion because I make one slip up or I get roll caught because of latency issues? Or is it going to be a really hard fought invasion? Now, I love the challenge of invasions, which is why I like invading. I will have to say though, invading into worlds where most people have two mages is just not a very fun experience. It's, you know, considering the fact that the incantations to protect yourself from magic got nerfed, as well as the consumables got nerfed. Now, while I do believe they should have been nerfed because it's not fair for people to not be able to play a certain way and for a playstyle to be completely negated, magic is now very powerful, more so than before, in PvP at least. Adding in hyper armor to certain spells is great. You know, I feel like you're still going to see the usual mage in the background with Moonveil spamming, you know, Glintstone over and over and over again. The more average one you see all the time. I don't really ever see people use higher level spells like the moon too often, or I see people use the cannon one a lot, which is great, but a lot of the times people are using the Glintstone, I'm pretty sure it's Glintstone Comet, and just spam over and over again because it chain casts, right? It's very annoying having two of those in the background while trying to run away from a guy who's chasing you down with like dual spears or something along the lines of that, right? You know, that aspect of it is really annoying, and it hasn't changed since launch really with that, but it's gotten a lot harder to deal with considering now things stagger you a lot more. Moving on to my second issue with the patch is the fact that a lot of thrusting weapons now are really good, to the point where it's very hard to trade with them with bigger weapons if you're going to use bigger weapons. It's really hard to outplay them because spacing, while it's important, is really difficult in a lot of situations considering, you know, latency. And considering that this game also has a lot of phantom range, with attacks hitting you when they shouldn't hit you, on your screen at least, when you're spaced enough, or when you decide you're going to sidestep an attack and you are clearly not in the way of their avatar, the hitbox still hits you and you take the damage. And now because of that, you can't just poise through it. But now they usually follow up with the spam of the two-handed R1, which has a lot of poise breaking value. Considering most people like to do fashion now, including me myself, I don't ever tend to have a lot of builds that have the higher value poise. I don't always play a knight. I don't always play a big heavy armor character. I can dodge a lot more. Sometimes you think to yourself, hey, I dodged that, or I'm not in harm's way. I want to try to counter attack, but your hyper armor frames don't start up fast enough, or you get hit with bad latency. That's a flaw in itself, but it's become a lot more noticeable in this patch with the change to hyper armor and poise. Again, all this changes are double-edged sword. I feel like this patch eventually is going to lead into the game being in the best state it's ever been in, and I feel like it is in the best state it's ever been in right now, but it's going to get a lot better. I have no idea if From Software is going to release a patch from now to the DLC, but I'm almost positive we'll see a few more balance changes before the DLC drops, where we get the massive big overhaul patch, which I assume is what's going to happen. This patch, while making a lot of weapons more valuable, some Ashes of War have become extremely busted, even more so than before. And again, it goes back to the blundering point. Even as an invader, it's really easy for me to pick up, say, spinning slash on the katana and to spinning slash my targets to death because they get trapped in it. Or it's also Black Flame Tornado is also insanely good compared to how it used to be. It was already really good, like really good. And if any of you ever watched any videos about it or any of my videos, Black Flame Tornado is the anti-gank Ash of War in my opinion. You can go behind a corner, catch anybody who's aggressive, It's super good. It's stupid good. It used to be really punishable, but now it has a lot of hyper armor. Like a lot of hyper armor. It hardly gets broken. And same thing with Moonveil. Moonveil's hyper armor now is insane with the L2. Insane hyper armor on the beam attack. It hardly can be staggered by anything. You can avoid those, sure. But it's very difficult when you're in a 3v1 situation. 1v1, like I said before, very easy to manage this kind of stuff. It's not as crazy and chaotic. But besides all that, I want to bring up one more complaint that doesn't have to really do with this patch, but it's definitely the latency issue and the matchmaking. I've noticed a lot more with this patch that I've been running into very laggy and almost like desynced players, right? Up on the screen, here's an example. I've only ran into I'd say a dozen invasions like this over the course of making my last 4 videos, but it's become even more common in my experience. So I'm quite unsure about that, but it's very annoying connecting to people who are from countries, across the world that don't have a very good connection with me, and they're probably not having a good experience either, I can imagine. But trying to fight laggy opponents, essentially hitboxes work with rolling, and the way networking works with rolling. If you want any more information on that, check out Only Waifu's video about it for parrying. I'll leave a video about that below. So my positives. This is going to be a short one because it's pretty much summed up as I really love this patch. Great patch. I think most people do like it. Save for the really OP stuff that I mentioned and the stuff that really is kind of hard to get around as a 1 invader versus 3 people. It's pretty much a great patch, and I've been enjoying it while also learning, and it comes with its own frustrations and such. But again, I really seriously want to thank you guys. It means a lot, honestly, that you guys are checking out my stuff. I don't expect it. I really don't. I make these videos because they're fun to do. It's a fun pastime for me. It allows me to show my creativity, by making these videos and posting them and editing them with cool music and whatnot, and that's something I've always wanted to do. I hope you guys do stick around, and please remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more stuff, because the like ratio, from what I understand with the algorithm, helps out so much. I wish I knew more about the algorithm like everybody else does, but hey, we're getting there. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. That is mind-blowing to me, and I can't wait to be there with you guys, and hopefully we hit 1,000 around the time the DLC comes out, and that way I can make something really awesome for you guys. But even if not, I'll still make something really cool. We'll see what happens. But yeah, you guys take care, and see you in the next video. Tarnished.